Hey everyone. So yesterday we started doing exponential function manipulation. So today I decided to leave a short assignment for you guys to practice. All this is your properties of exponents. The main one that we're going to be using is the product property. So when you have x to the m power times x to the n power, when you combine, you add those two exponents. What's going to happen for us today is in reverse. If I have a plus sign in my exponent, I know that I can separate it into two terms, both with the same base, but each one's going to have one of those exponents. So that's going to come up a lot. It does start kind of on the easier side, and then as you go along, it has more steps. So to help us get started, we're going to do two of these together. And I'm going to try to do ones that actually take a little bit more work. So let's go to number, let's say number 3. Okay, so number 3, f of x equals 1/4 times 2 to the x plus 3 power. So I want to manipulate this equation to where this x plus 3 will just be x. I don't want that plus 3 to be there. So using that product rule that I wrote earlier, I know that I can rewrite this equation as, I'm still going to have 1/4, but now this 2, instead of having 2 to the x plus 3, I can have 2 to the x. So I'm going to write multiply, so I'm going to do dot 2 to the x power, and then times 2 to the third power. So this x goes here, and this 3 goes here, and they both have the same base. Okay, but then I'm going to keep simplifying as much as I can. So I still have the 1/4. I still have 2 to the x. But I know that 2 to the third power, so this part here, that is the same as saying 2 times another 2. So that gives me 8. Okay, but I could also keep simplifying because this 8 and this 1/4 are just constants. They don't have an exponent or anything. So I can combine those as well by multiplying. So 1/4 times 8 gives me positive 2 times, and then I still have this 2 to the x power. So I'm going to put it in parentheses actually, 2 to the x power. So that is the new equation now. So I'm going to write f of x in front of it. That is our new equation. That is our final answer. So in this case, a would be 2, and our b value is also 2. Okay, so now let's do another one. Let's do one at the bottom. So let's do number 8. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing as we did before. When I start rewriting, I'm going to start with right here. So a little bit of a side note, this has a minus sign, but what we know about subtraction is that x minus 3, that's the same thing as saying x plus negative 3. So you can still use the product property because of that plus sign, but you're going to have to use negative 3 here. So I'm going to separate this as 1/2 to the x power times 1/2 to the negative 3 power. So I'm getting negative 3 because this was a minus. Okay, and then like we did before, 1/4 stays the same. 1/2 to the x stays the same. But this right here, we can simplify. So I'm just going to kind of work this out to the side. When I have 1/2 to the negative third, what that is telling me is I could do 1 to the negative 3 power and then 2 to the negative 3 power. Because we have some negative exponents, another rule says that I can kind of flip this over and make those positive exponents. So 2 to the third over 1 to the third, which gives me 8 over 1. So really just 8. So times 8. Okay, and then the next thing here is this 1/4 and this 8 are both constants, so we can combine those together. 1/4 of 8 is 2. So this would be 2 and then times 1/2 to the x power. And that's our final answer. Okay, and then that's it for this worksheet. You have 6 more problems to go. Really, it's just knowing your product property and maybe your negative exponent property. And if you have any other questions, send me a message.